So, my dear Aries, the sun is in Sagittarius, giving the light to the moon, which is in your sign. You are the fourth major arcana. Sagittarius is the 14th major arcana. We're going to the left, and I place you here. So you're not seeing what Sagittarius is doing. She is blending. This guardian angel is blending the masculine and the feminine, and you are looking to the right, but always remember when we become the card, you are looking actually to the left. So in your subconscious you see what it's all about, but maybe in your conscious you are not wanting to act upon this. She's very much looking at what she's doing, and so both of you are in your own world. Meanwhile, you connected through the fire element. The 4 stays the 4, and the 14 becomes the 5. The 5 senses, right? And know that Sagittarius is connected through Jupiter, right? Jupiter rules Sagittarius, and you are ruled by Mars. And so Mars is this push, is the energy, is the tower in the tarot. Things must go so that you can create new things, right? And this is the law almost, right? The duality energy. And so recognize that. So the 4 and the 5, when we calculate it together, we get the 9. And the 9 is the completion. In this completion, where you feel right now inspired by the sun to look deeper into how you can unite the dualities so that you can stay in your center, so that you can be who you are, right, out in this world. The sun, the external expression of how I see myself, my personality in this union, and the moon, looking deep within into your feelings, into your subconscious, and knowing that you can become an emperor in that. The yoga position for Sagittarius is Paschimottanasana. I find deep within myself the guardian angel energy. And here we have for you meditation. And in the meditation, you're connecting to the brain, which is your body part. And so you find through the meditation your connection, right, to who you are. And so this today, sun and moon, simply these two, you can tell a whole story right there. The Queen of Wands, that's you if your birthday is between the 12th of March and the 9th of April. Then she is your court card. You're the first zodiac sign, and as such connected with the first house of self and self-identity. Then Aries is the fighter. She is using the horns, right? And she knows that she takes action. An idea is born in her head, and she is the one that makes it happen. Back to the last reading where we had Scorpio Sun giving Aries Moon the light. Your longing for more is intuitive, and like a bee, you fly into self-liberty. So I see here an archetype, and the archetype is coming through the Hanged Man, and you had the archetype God down here in the corner. And I do see also that the 8 of Cups, you are wanting to become more free, right? You walking away from something that's good to something that you know is even better. And so I think you do not have a card repeating itself here. I think you cleared that. And as such, we can start the reading. We are having a big title, which is Pluto in Aquarius, says or said. And Pluto is in the tarot the judgment, the calling, the new aeon, the number 20. And Pluto is 20 years in Aquarius. So we're going to look at the Lifruma Healing Oracle and see what is the calling, what is Pluto saying to you for the next 20 years, what is the main theme, right, that is coming up today, because on the 19th of November, Pluto moved for good into Aquarius. So we begin with the Lifruma Healing Oracle, Rise, Explore and Alchemize, the number 73. And here is the letter, the rune letter. Pluto rules Scorpio, and Scorpio is the transformation. And for Scorpio, I have the Handel Tarot and Hermann Handel, the artist, created for the water signs, which is Scorpio, right? Odin. And Odin was hanging on the world tree and got, after 9 days, the rune alphabet. And so I'm using it for Pluto, right? And so here Pluto is this beautiful message to alchemize. I'm going to read it to you. Alive and eager, desiring to dive and drink in the new. All the old gold has dulled. Inventiveness slips in like a sea fret, curling its damp, vapory tendrils towards the land where you stand. The crawling, calling frequency of open waters. Rand's mystical, nautical daughters craft the waves. The crashing adventures seeking to sail you forwards to explore life, to alchemize potential, and soar to your sacred shore. Raise, it's also rising, and rising sometimes comes out of the oppression, right? Rising. The 3 and the 7, we get, of course, the 7, the emotional intelligence, and 3, the Empress, together the 10. The 10, a new cycle. A new cycle begins with Pluto now in Aquarius, and so there is a calling. There is the 20. And so the 10 and the 20 is the 30. And the 3, very clearly we know that the 3 is that moment where we recognize Venus, the Empress, right? The feminine aspect to the Emperor. And so this slight head lifted and looking from above is not what the Empress would do, right? And so I think you are called to raise your heart, right? Not your head. Raise your heart. Raise yourself to such a level that you can bring inventiveness to create new waves that are crashing as an adventure, right, onto the sacred shore. Very beautiful, right? So you see here this wave line, and here the possibilities. And of course, this is the letter. So what is Aquarius saying? Aquarius is bringing you the Ace of Cups. And so the 10 and the 1 is the 11. The 11 is the inner teacher, is the inner wisdom to know that love is important when we raise ourselves, when we go into the exploring It's always explore more of what you have deep within you. And so the 11 is a portal, and the 20. Now, of course, the 11 becomes a 2 and a 20, right? So we have actually a 22, which is Uranus, which is a new beginning, which is creating a foolish new idea out of this immense love that you feel. But the 4 is left when we calculate it all together, and the 4, this is you. So you can create a new you, right, within the next 20 years by learning to raise your frequency, raise the vibration, raise the amount of love that you have flying out of this cup. And in that flying, you notice very clearly that love conquers all, right? And so it's really beautiful. Just the 11 here, right, is what I see, and that's the portal, this 1-1 portal of possibilities that are awaiting for you. Because then the Queen of Wands is getting the 9 of Wands, which is the moon in Sagittarius. But the sun is in Sagittarius, and so the moon is in your sign. So you are noticing through the 9 of Wands that something difficult is over, right? You're holding on to the 9th wand. You have 8 wands behind you. And you know that this is a fight, an action that you have overcome, because the 9 plus the 1 is the 10. A new cycle again, like I said, a new cycle that is now coming by raising, by exploring, by alchemizing the energies. And so the 10 is speaking here again to you, a new cycle. What is the Mother Peace Tarot bringing? We get the Shaman of Discs to the right, and the Shaman of Discs is Taurus, and he is going, or she is going here to the eagle to get information. Now the 10 and the 2, the second zodiac sign, which is in the next reading, maybe you already have more of the King of Pentacles within you. See the date. The 12 appears here, and the 12 is the Hanged Man, and the Hanged Man last time came up and brought you God. So stop playing God, because sometimes you like playing God. And right, notice that the 9 and the 2 is also an 11. And in there you learn that maybe you should really accept that there are things that you are still learning, and you don't need to defend yourself to the infinite. The 8 behind you, right? Remember, 1 wand is all you need. And so the 11 is here. But we had here the 10 and the 2s, the 12, the 3 is left. The Empress. The Empress again is bringing you new love, new beauty, new adventure. Now, what is Taurus saying? Taurus is bringing you the 2 of Pentacles, which is actually Jupiter in Capricorn. Now you have a 2 here and a 2 here. You have the 22, and the 22 arrived before, right? But here now we really get a clear 22. So you have the 11 and you have the 22. So in the Secret Brotherhood, those were the stations, right? The 11, the 22, and the 33 is the end. Then you are master. And the 33 are the 33 vertebrae in your spine. And that's where we're rising. And you see in the 22 that you are playing with the money in a new way, the bank, right, the institutions, and that you're working hard on something. So again, the 2 and the 9 is also again the 11, right? And you with the 1, so we could create 3 times the 1. That's an option as well, right? Or we see, of course, here the 1 and the 9 is the 10, and here is the 22. You see, you can, the way you calculate these cards or these numbers together, you get the information, you get the answers. So the 22 says, be prepared that things are going to be completely new. Things are going to, right, fall apart. And so the Tower is always, Mars is in retrograde right now. And so you will see that things are shifting in the way money is being played, in the way money is being juggled. Jupiter in Capricorn, Jupiter is the expansion, and Jupiter is ruling Sagittarius. And so you see here a very clear message, right? A message that is letting you know, observe what these cards are saying. Then we look at you, the Emperor. The 10 of Wands is coming, and the 10 of Wands plus the 9 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius, and this was Moon in Sagittarius. So these are 19 Wands. And the 19 is the Sun, right? The Sun is letting you know this is what you're showing to the outer world, this intensity about the way you do things, almost a suppression, here a hardship that you have overcome. The Sun in Sagittarius, it's almost like learn to blend, learn to become softer. So understand that the 19 becomes a 10, then the 10 and the 4 is the 14, that's Sagittarius, right? So you see that there is a continuous message in the way you act, right? In the way you are with others. So here the 10 and the 4, also the 14 and the 5 is left. The 5 senses, use your 5 senses to understand that this is a strong oppression that you don't want, right? What is Sagittarius saying? The 6 of Bowls is coming, and that's the Sun in Scorpio. And that's back to the last reading, Scorpio Sun. Right, your longing for more is intuitive, and like a bee you fly into self-liberty. So you remember back then how easy it was. The 10 and the 6 is the 16, and the Tower is literally saying, well, let go of that. That's the past. You don't want to hold on to this anymore. Transform it into the 7, because the 7 is the emotional intelligence that we get by calculating this together. The 7 and the 4 is the 11. Again, find the portal within you through your intelligence, through the way you see things, and learn from that. What is the Mother Peace Tarot saying? The 4 of Wands to the left is coming. And so the 4 is pointing to the 6. The 4 of Wands is a beautiful card. Here are 4 women dancing because they got their menstruation. They got their first menstruation. And so the 6 and the 4 is a 10. A 10-10 portal, which is then the 20, right? The 20, that's the last judgment, right? That's raise above. Raise and see that you are exploring new adventures. And so then the 4 is the 24. And there we get the 6. Self-love. Find self-love by seeing in the past that you have learned deeply to respect the people. The 10 and the 10, the 20, the 24, the 6 is left here. You gotta learn to love yourself, and then everything falls into place. Okay? So that's the message that you are getting from here, the soul of the Emperor. Now we're looking to the Tower, and the Tower is bringing you the stingray. So when everything falls apart, the 7, then you can build a new spine. Then you can build here with the colors of the chakras a squareness that looks different than usual The 4 is the square, but here it looks like you have now wings. And so you see there is a connection, right, where you learned to define yourself in a completely different way. So let that happen. The 7 here, and this is the second animal in the water element. The 7 and the 2 is the 9. Come into your completion and learn to build a new spine, right? In the emotional intelligence, find the flying and turn the square around, and don't get stuck. What is coming from your deck? The King of Swords, and that's an 11. He's the 11th zodiac sign. And so we had already the 11 right before, the 9 of Wands and the 2 of Pentacles, etc. And so again an 11 is here. The 2nd of November or the 11th of February could be a date, right? Or if we include here the 9, the 9th of November or the 11th of September. So see again what date is speaking to you, but understand that Aquarius is coming and brought you the Ace of Cups. So in your mind you have the sword, but maybe you know an Aquarian energy, but give love to all, even to an air sign, which maybe for you is a little strange, right? Because you are this fire sign, and it's hard to get along with someone that's in their mind so much. You're more action, action, and he is more thinking, thinking, right? But learn to include all, right? True astrology says we need to include all 12 zodiac signs in us, and that's where we learn to give love to all. And so this is maybe why the stingray is coming to you, so you can build a new spine. So what is Aquarius saying? Aquarius is bringing you the Knight of Swords. And the Knight of Swords is Gemini, communication. So here the communication will be new, right? 20 years we will have Pluto in Aquarius, and so this is also an air sign. He's the Knight, and we will have a whole new way of communicating with each other, and you will see there's a whole revolution coming towards us. So this is the 3 and the 2 is the 5, right? The date changes, the 5, and actually here the 7 is the 12. That's December, 11th of December or the 12th of November. Observe. Then what is Gemini saying? I'm just going to put this down for a moment because otherwise it's hard to hold all of them. Gemini is saying the wheel of fortune is spinning, and that's Jupiter. Jupiter is ruling Sagittarius, and so there is something new that we can play, right? Aquarius, Gemini, and the wheel of fortune. And so you observe here that something is coming, because the 3 and the 10 is the 13. The 13th of November could be a date, right? Or here the 13, then calculated together we get the 4, the stability, the 4, the square. Turn the square around, change it, see things from a completely new perspective. And that's why you're standing up here and not on the bottom, right? And she stands here on this feather and she's going towards Aquarius. And it's almost like you realized something here, and then you stepped on the feather and you wrote something, and you want to bring this information to Aquarius, and Aquarius is here to bring you then this, right? To know that, yes, we can change things, right? we can now do things in a completely different way, because Aquarius is technology. Aquarius is the new community. And so what is bringing here the Wheel of Fortune? It's bringing you like a bird. Fly like a bird. And it's the number 22. And we had the 22 here with the Two of Pentacles and the King of Pentacles, right? And so we had the 22, and it speaks directly to that. Fly like a bird. Spread your wings. Become your own guardian angel, right? Because in your deck, Temperance looks like this. Look at this. Beautiful. And here you are. You are getting wings. You are wanting to fly. The 22 is the end here. From Aquarius to Gemini, to the Wheel of Fortune, to like a bird. Wow, look at this, right? So the 22, of course, I leave. Now we have 4 times the 2. That's the heart. And we see here the 11. So here I calculate the 3 and the 10 together. We get the 4. You are in between there, right? And so develop a new you. See that you can be this incredible personality and shift the way you see the 4. Create wings. I mean, it's so beautiful, right? This is where the wings come from, because we are not in the square. We are now in creating wings. But what is the Mother Piece Tarot saying? We get the 9 of Swords to the left. And the 9 of Swords to the left, you get a little moment of nightmare here with Pluto maybe being in Aquarius. A little moment of like, how I'm gonna do this, right? This is almost too much. So the 9 of Swords, you can stop that with the 9 of Wands. It's a 9-9 portal. And so learn that the 9 and the 11 is the 20, the last judgment. Maybe you're afraid of what the next 20 years brings. Don't be afraid. Attack it. Use the wisdom. Use what you have learned. Don't let yourself be oppressed ever. And learn to rise. Learn to fly like the butterfly. Learn to use your wings. Learn to be free. And see that the 9 and the 11 is the 20 and the 2 is the 22. Again, Uranus, a new thing is coming, right? A new experience, a new way of seeing liberty. And you are understanding that this is, of course, the emotional intelligence that is coming to you, that these things are then finished, right? Nightmares. But understand that the nightmares are pointing to the left. They are pointing to the within. But actually it's then what we show in the without. So learn to awaken that the 22 and here the 7 could be the 22nd of July. Maybe that's a date again that is significant, right? But we can also calculate the 22 and the 7 together. We get the 29. Again, the 11 comes out of there. And so the 11 and the 22 are speaking very strongly here to you. Learn to discern. Learn to awaken to new possibilities. Learn to see that Gemini is bringing a new communication. Gemini is bringing you the Wheel of Fortune, and the Wheel of Fortune is saying you can now fly like a bird because you're coming out of a deep knowledge that the spine that you're developing, the spine, the sword that is here, is now awakening, right? Through the love that you are exploring and that you are alchemizing. And in there you know that here the 73, the 10, and the 1 is the 11 again. And so the reading is closing, right? The 11 is the inner knowledge, the inner intelligence that you have now to be this incredible personality. The 22 and the 11, know that you can do it. Know that you can celebrate, that you have the 4 of Wands, which is Venus in Aries, right? That's that love that you have, the love. And the 10 and the 9 is the 19, and 4, that's 23 Wands. I mean, that's the 5 again, and the 5 is coming through Sagittarius. Become aware of the limits, become aware that the 5 are the 5 elements, right? You have 6 cups, and here 1, that's 7 cups, right? The 7-7, understand the emotional intelligence to know what this is bringing. And you have, of course, 9 swords, right? And in there you are learning, when you have these kind of thoughts, then take action, do something, go out and learn to overcome these thoughts. And so I can see this is really a beautiful message, right? Explore, raise your vibration, become someone that sees that you are bringing new ideas into the world, and that they are coming like waves crashing to the shore, and giving those gifts, right, to the people. Sometimes here the stingray, when we see them coming out and flying for a short moment, we understand that that's the love that's flying out of them. And in that flying, you are recognizing that you are free, right? Free like a bird. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Such a beautiful message. So I hope I see you in the next reading. That's when we get the sun in Capricorn. We didn't get the 15, which is interesting. Until then, I thank you so much for being with me. Namaste.